Yo, what is good, family? It's your boy in my 4K20 in the building. Back on, y'all know where we at. We Talk Hawks TV, We Talk Hawks Daily. Let's get right into it. Your boy's off today, so I can put up this video. Um, Scrolling Twitter today, got up early. First thing I read is Minnesota Timberwolves are interested in Clint Capella of our Atlanta Hawks. The first thing I said to myself was, hell yeah. The second thing I said to myself was, who do they have that they're willing to trade? Let's talk about it, family. We're gonna keep this, we're gonna keep this live, this video short and to the point. Um, okay, what do we know? What we do know, and that we don't have to speculate on. Hold up, let me bring on my guy, the Atlanta analyst. Y'all know him. He up here all the time. He's a regular. My guy's in the building. What's popping today, young analyst?
What's up? What's up? Man, I am just, because things always boiling up before the draft, and
Yeah.
we're all seeing all these rumors, and whether we agree with them or not, it's all exciting. So I'm just trying to filter out the reliable rumors and the unreliable rumors.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's the same. Soon as trade season come around, soon as that finals game is over with, you already know all type of rumors are gonna start swirling. But what do we know? We do know that agents, um, people who work for the team, will put out rumors to get stuff circulating. Maybe an agent will put it out there just if the client don't like the situation they in, but don't really want to say anything to the front office. You'll have team officials put stuff out there. So general managers and the staff can get a feel of what's out there, what the public is thinking. What so other players can see it also. So I see True to Atlanta. Shout out True to Atlanta. He said he taking Malik Beasley in the first. Okay, let's break it down real quick. Okay, first of all, the first thing what I did was first thing I had to do. I said, let me go look at Minnesota roster and let's look at their salary and see what they have going on. Um, Minnesota without re-signing all their dudes, that's restricted and unrestricted. Right now, I believe they're $30 million under the cap without re-signing their free agents. So obviously they don't need to do a salary dump or anything like that. Make moves to improve their organization and don't have to, beg, borrow, steal, throw in stuff to get us the salary to work. That's just speaking salary wise. Then I look at us. What do we gain by trading Clint Capella? And when I'm looking at Minnesota roster, obviously you're not going to get Cat. You're not going to get Ant Man. They're fresh off their their second playoff appearance since 2004. Almost won 50 games. Those two not going nowhere. And like I told you on the Twitter chat, because then I went to do some quick research. Minnesota is looking to run Cat at the four because he can play the four. He's versatile. He can shoot. He can he can guard any four in the league just about. So that's realistic. What I was reading from Minnesota was that they lack the depth at center. So I'm assuming, say they did make a trade for Clint Capella. Clint Capella will be the starter, and the other dude, I think his name is Naz or Nas. It's Naz. He
Nazi.
will be coming off the bench because I think he's making like $1 million. So he's either like on a extremely cheap rookie deal, or he was an undrafted free agent making that little bit of money. So they're looking at running D'Lo, Cat, Patrick Beverly, Capella, and Ant Man, which to me sounds like a good that's a good little starting five right there. What can we get from them though? Um, I just did a real quick look. I didn't have time to really sit down and analyze it. I didn't really see anything that really caught my attention. Something that made me say, "Hey, let's see if we can get a package around this guy." You know what I'm saying? I think I put in the Twitter chat. Maybe they're willing to give up their first round pick. I mean, they went out early. They went out the first round, so without me going to look, I'm assuming their pick is probably 17, 18, 19 up in that area.
Mm-hmm.
Um, could be some talent there, might not be no talent there. That's going to help us. I mean, obviously there's talent, but I mean, it's talent there that can help us and help what we're trying to do. Um, I really didn't see nothing that nothing that made me say, "Hey, let's stop what we're doing, analysts. Let's see. Let's go inside Minnesota. Let's start working up deal. Bring up your trade machine, and all that." Unless you saw something on their roster that I didn't. What's your thoughts so far?
No, I didn't. With Capella being on such a team friendly contract, 18 mil, it's kind of hard to get back the return that I would be looking for if I was Travis from Minnesota, because the one thing that I would not do is move Clint Capella off for nothing. There is very minimum free agent centers out there that are going to be able to give you what Clint is able to do, other than Nurkic and those guys. So if I'm looking at Minnesota's roster, the package that I'm currently looking at that will work salary wise would be something like Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt, and honestly, if I was the Hawks, I would, if they're not going to give me Cat or D'Lo, or obviously they're not going to give up Ant Man, I would try to squeeze out 2 first round picks. I think not necessarily even to use them, but to just give us more assets to use, because that's the best you're gonna get if you're not gonna get D'Lo, Cat, or those guys. Now I like Patrick Beverly as like that dog, that locker room leader, that vet we've been needing, that mentality. So I would also take him and like a Jared Vanderbilt, but I'm thinking, maybe we need a shooter like a Malik Beasley. I don't know if something will work. Like, and you made a good point with them running Cat at the 4. At first, when I saw the room, I was like, are they really willing to give up on Cat that quick? But it makes sense now. They can run him at the 4 because he can space it. They have Clint Capella. So honestly, nothing on their roster intrigues me, that will work salary wise, unless they're willing enough to give up a haul of first round picks.
And I agree with you, but shout out to everybody in the chat. Y'all know, let me do a little pause here. Y'all know this is a channel for the fans by the fans. So I'm gonna drop the link. Y'all know how we do. I'm dropping the link in on this channel. If you got opinions, you want to come up here and speak your piece, y'all know what to do. I'm dropping the link. Boom. Come on in here. I bring you on. You speak your piece. Basically, guys, think of this as a call-in show, except we use video. Okay. You gotta put a face to these some of these comments people be making. You feel me? But back to the
Yeah.
point. Back to the point. So this is what I'm thinking. So say like I put in the Twitter chat. First thing came to my mind was after I did a quick rundown. I was like, it had to be a third team involved somewhere. But let's say there is no third team. Say we do deal with Minnesota. Say we do trade Capella to Minnesota. Say we get back. I'm just making something up. Like True to Atlanta say we get back Beasley in this year's first, right? Now, next thing I think about is now how are we going to look? Because trading Clint Capella for a non-big, let me change that for a non, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to sound old, but a contemporary big, who we consider big, like somebody 6'10", blah 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 blah, and we don't get a player like that in return. Would you, and this for everybody in the chat also, would you feel comfortable starting the season off with um double O starting as our center to start the season? Because in my eyes, I was always thinking if I'm gonna move Capella, now let's be honest, family. Capella is really he's a one trick pony on the offensive side. Okay. I would never take away his effect on our interior defense, okay, and our rebounding, okay. He did fall off from the year before, okay. Last year before, he's probably a top five center stat wise. Um, this year, I mean last year, fell off a little bit. Still averaged a double double. Still led us in rebounding. But do you think that you move a Capella and you don't get back another big analyst in chat? Do you feel comfortable with Big O? And I'm assuming we keep John Collins, Big O being our starting center, or do you think we could do something like Big O? You have Big O and Collins as our front court, and you just swapping them out. Like, okay, you go down there and play the five, Collins. You go down there and play a Kongwu, depending on who we playing. You know what I'm saying? But before you answer that, let me bring on our homie, always here. I like to call him the most relaxed Hawks fan because he seems like he's just relaxed all the time. I believe, man, you put virtual GM out there in a full blown shootout, and his heart rate won't even move. It'll stay at his. He been a whole blown shootout. His heart rate stayed about 60 beats per minute. That's how relaxed he is. Let me bring my guy on. What's good, GM? Talk to your boys, man.
You know what, man? You see this gray hair right here? I got a flashback. When you said that, my teammates said it in college. They picked on me. Everybody was laughing, and so it must be true. It must be it's something true about that because they said, "Man, do your heart rate ever move?"
Hey, that's gonna be my goal for next year. I'm gonna get GM upset one time to where he raises his voice. That's that's gonna be my goal for next season, guys, as we go through the season. But let me I don't know if you heard what I just said, but I'm gonna let analysts respond to what I just said. And then
Okay.
if you didn't hear what I said, let me know and I'll go back to it. But what's your thoughts on what I said, analysts, with Big O starting at the five if we don't get a big in return moving Capella?
I don't like it. I don't like it, and here's why. Uh, and I should say I don't like him at the five starting. I don't mind him running the four, but obviously if Collins was there, and here's the reason why I don't like it. Because it's hard for me to say this. I want Big O to develop, but I don't think that we can seriously be looking at contending for a championship. And we're starting Big O at the five. Now, obviously, I hate saying that because I like Big O and I want the Hawks to keep Big O. I just don't see a world where Double O is starting going into next season and we're seriously looking at contending for a title. The front office has to be certain that if we have a hole at center, that we are going to go out in free agency or trade or draft and be aggressive to go out and acquire. Well, not really draft, but free agency and trade, and be aggressive to go out there and acquire a center that is of the starting caliber. I love Big O coming off the bench because I think he plays so well with some of the bench players. I think he's a part of the big, the spark that is the bench. So starting him, it will be good for his experience. Give him more reps, more minutes. But I'm not sold on it if we're talking about competing against some of the bigger teams and some of the longer teams.
What's your thoughts, GM, or do you need me to repeat what my question was?
I think I came in on the tail end, but I know I heard Minnesota, right?
Okay, this is what I said. I said, so Minnesota, rumor is just a rumor that they're looking for Clint Capella, and they need front court depth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Looking like that Capella will be the starter, and their current starter, I think, what's his name, Nas something. He a
Nas
young,
Reed.
yeah, he a young player, so I'm assuming he will come off the bench and back up Capella, right? So my question was this: we see what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I said, as a Hawks fan, if we trade Capella to any team, matter of fact, and it doesn't involve bringing back another big. Now we're not including who we can draft. Obviously, we have picks, but I'm just saying, you trade Clint Capella, you bring back some assets, and none of them is a legit big. who we consider big, 6'9", long arm, 6'10". Would you feel comfortable with Double O starting as our five with Collins as the at the four? You think that's a good? You think that would be good enough to get us um, back to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Okay, first I want to say thank you for inviting me on your show. Um, I personally think, and I know it's going to rub people the wrong way, but I personally think that is a good move. Depending on what you get from them, if it's not a center, let's say like uh, Malik Beasley, like a shooting guard or something like that, and also like a draft pick, just something, to kind of give us some compensation. But I do because if you drafted Double O, now it's time to see what he can do, and now we can keep John Collins. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not a hater of John Collins. I just think that Clint Capella and Collins just don't. It's not meshing.
Does that work? It's not working.
It seems like it's. I mean, both of them can do pick and roll, but it just seems like you said, Collins can even play the five if Double O don't pan out. So I like it, and then move Hunter up to the four, and then do whatever you got to do with the small forward, the three. But yeah, I like it. Just to answer your question, I think that'll be a great move.
And I know you just came on at the tail end, but me and analysts, we was going back and forth on the Twitter chat, and we did a quick. We probably had about 15 minutes before we went live, and we just did a quick scrub of the Minnesota roster. Me and I think me and GM, excuse me, I think me and analysts on the same sheet of music. We didn't see nothing on Minnesota roster that made us, stop in our tracks and say, let's try to get a deal done now. I, I see true to Atlanta. He's talking about he would do a Malik Beasley in the first. Obviously, like I said, me and analysts didn't really get a chance to go in to see like how does the money work because I pulled up
We would
something
move off
quick.
some money for next season.
I pulled up something quick. I tried to pull up Minnesota's contracts. So we do know they're $30 million under the cap before they sign any of their free agents or anybody who they plan on keeping. Um, Malik Beasley, um, and see this what happens when I don't have my stuff organized. I pulled it up. Malik Beasley is sitting at let's see.
Uh,
I mean,
Which
I'll
one?
let
15.
He's sitting at 15 million.
Mm-hmm. So
Okay.
that would be
How many
we'll
years
be
he
getting
got?
about 3 million off our
How many years
books.
he got left on that deal? Does it say?
Yeah, he's got 2 years left on the deal.
Okay, so it's almost like him and Clint cancel out. So True to Atlanta was pretty much on point with that offer. You probably throw that in the trade machine, and that'll probably
I've
work.
always got my trade machine pulled up.
Uh, um, now, with that being said, what would be yo a lot of faith in Double O to be our starting five if we make that deal. Now, once again, let me get the details out there. This is a deal if we didn't include a third team. It's just Atlanta, Minnesota trading straight up.
hmm
Okay, obviously, you can get a third team involved. Um, but True to Atlanta brings up another great point. With Big O starting, who would be our backup? Big, you know, like I like Double O, but I almost see us, even if we had like and I hate to say it like this, just a garbage big man, right? You almost can run it small like Golden State does, because they'll
hmm
start Looney
hmm
sometimes.
hmm
Looney be there big at 6'9", but majority of the time he come out, Draymond's doing his thing, and they're pretty much a small team with Wiggins, could be Draymond, Wiggins, Steph, Clay, and Poole. So they
hmm
pretty much small. Now I could see us doing that with a Trey, assuming we if only person was gone was Capella, Trey, Hunter, Bogey, Collins, and Okongwu, right?
hmm
That's a small lineup, which everybody, assuming that Double O does work on his jumper like he said he was and come back with a legit jumper, right? then I could see us going smart because then you could have, um, depending on, you could have Colin slide in and play the so-called five
Yeah, yeah.
because he got about
Yeah.
2 inches on. He got about 2 inches and he got way more athleticism than Double O. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? But I mean that's the stuff we can do. But
Yeah.
I still go ahead, analyst. What you about to say?
Oh no, you can go ahead and finish.
Oh,
I was just
oh, okay.
good.
But I'd rather me personally, I'd rather have Clint Capella and part of a deal to get me another big to
Hmm.
try to improve and get a big back. Obviously, I know it's going to take more than Capella. It's going to take Capella and other assets to go get a legit big. But say they did do something like a Malik Beasley.
Mm.
Where's Beasley going to play? Because now you
He's
got to move. You got to move others now. Because look,
well.
now you have to move other people. Go ahead, GM.
I just wanted to pause right there and then have you, keep going. Thank you. Yeah, to do that now you get Malik Beasley, and now you can move somebody. Whether it's Malik Beasley for somebody else, or like maybe you want to move. I don't want
Guess
to move
you.
Herter as much as analysts think I don't like Herter, but I'm a Herter fan. I think he can have he have room to grow. But what is it Bogey? Maybe Bogey, because we got so many shooting guards kind of do the same thing. Now maybe Bogey can give you that center that you're looking for, like far as the backup, and then maybe a deal on the side with somebody else. I don't know what you're looking for, like a
Hmm.
draft or another position, But Bogey can give you a pretty good backup as far as the center, you know,
But you
depend.
know what? Now that you said it, I kind of like moving Kevin Herter because Bogey, and I'm only saying that due to Bogey.
Bogey's 30.
He's already, but
Researching.
but guess what though? He's already kind of embraced the role of coming off the bench. So you could just take Beasley and you make Beasley your starting shooting guard, right? What's Beasley on the defensive side? He's a pretty good defender.
He's pretty good. Yeah, he's a pretty good defender.
He'll upgrade over Herder
Yeah,
and Bogey
upgrade. Yeah,
defensively.
that's the best way to put it.
So I mean, and I only say that because you already got Bogey who's ended the season come off the bench. So that's not an
Hmm.
issue if you want to start a Beasley. And but Beasley, I don't know because I don't really follow Minnesota. I don't know if he come off the bench or what, but now you could slide Beasley in as your starter. Bogey's already coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you could package Herder and somebody else to, you know, get another whatever need we have. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Go ahead, analyst. You about to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say just in reference to adding a guy like Malik Beasley to the roster, which I honestly, uh, I think any deal with Clint Capella in it, if I was the GM, it would have to have Jared Vanderbilt in it. He's young. I like him. But to me, I think getting Malik and Jared, I would honestly use those as to shore up our bench. Even though Lou's not retiring, I wouldn't bring him back. Let's just say we don't get DeLon back, so we have a hole at those two positions. So maybe we stick
Hmm.
them into those two. But I would argue that it wouldn't be an inconvenience if we had to make another move because the Hawks are expected to be one of the most active teams in the offseason. So maybe if we acquire these two players, you could flip them. Or you could go out and make more moves to try to make the roster fit and mesh with these current guys that you already have and who are core going forward, like a Hunter, a Big O, and obviously Trey Young. So ultimately, if we acquired these two players or just Malik Beasley, um, I would not be shocked if we moved other guys just for the simple fact that I think we'll be active. But again, nothing splashes at me from Minnesota. Unless we were maybe acquiring like a Patrick Beverly, but I do like the idea of getting Malik Beasley because he's 25 years old, and I think he can still develop a little bit more. I think he missed a year with legal issues, but listen, I think that the best package that I see us getting from them is Beasley, Vanderbilt, and maybe a first round pick or two.
I mean, let's be. that's a good take, but I mean, now let's look at our roster. Say we keep Collins, right? Just say moving Capella was the only move we made, um, not including drafting. Um, how do y'all feel we look defensively though? Do you feel we improve? Obviously, without a Capella, without a real presence in the middle, rim protection probably going to go down. But overall, adding Malik Beasley and moving Capella and having Collins and O as our starting front court, do you guys feel, and this is for y'all to chat, do y'all feel we improve defensively, stay the same, or we get worse defensively? And I'm speaking overall as the team. What you got on that, GM? And then I go to you. I mean, what you got on that, analyst? And I go to you, GM.
Yeah, I don't think we improve defensively. I do think we actually go down a little bit. Just for the simple fact, like you said, we don't have a big man in the middle, but neither of these two guys that I just discussed are going to. They'll help a little bit with perimeter defense, but you're going to get killed in the paint.
Okay. What's your thoughts on that, GM?
I was waving. I was looking at the comment. That right there, what True to Atlanta said. I think we'll get a little better. Because the reason I say that because we Atlanta have missed Clint Capella and John Collins. We played without both for a little while, and I still think like playing Miami Heat. I'll look at who they have to play. Boston Celtics or whoever like that. Um,
Bucks.
yeah, the Bucks perimeter. The perimeter game killed. It was killing us. Like even when we went to the Eastern Conference Finals with what's the guy? What's the Bucks guy? Not the Ford, but the
Giannis,
not
Middleton,
Giannis, but
Jay, Drew Holiday, Drew Holiday,
um
Lopez,
no, there was
Portis,
Shooter, huh?
the
Portis,
shooter. They got
Yeah,
Bobby Portis. They
Port,
have
not Portis.
They have Middleton.
Middleton, Middleton,
Middleton. Okay.
Middleton had a couple games. It was lighting us up, and it was nothing you can do. Um, you know, and I know Cam came out there and did a little something. When he Cam Reddish, so I feel like we're missing a perimeter defender. You see what I'm saying? And somebody who
Okay.
actually who can actually help on the offensive game as well. So I think we will improve with Double O coming back another season. I just feel like
So you feel moving on from Capella and adding Beasley improves our perimeter defense.
our shooting guard that can play both
But
sides
does it
really
but does
well.
it improve our defense overall? That's my question.
I
See,
think it I think
I
it does.
understand it would I understand that it improves us on the perimeter because obviously Malik Beasley will be an upgrade over Bogey or her defensively. Okay.
Mhm.
But we lose length and size in the paint. You see what I'm saying? So what happens?
I believe Double can do it though.
So what
I believe he
happens?
can.
Maybe one-on-one defending, but what happens when they break the defense down and get it and them guards get into the lane? Do you believe double O?
So you just
What
said it.
we
You just said it. If the guards get into the lane, that's what I'm talking about. It breaks the defense
well, you
down.
know they're
That's
gonna get it. Well, you know they get in the lane because you know they're gonna. We already know what they're gonna do against it. They're gonna target Trey Young. We know that, right? But they're gonna get in the paint. That's because even you have Hunter. Say you have Hunter and Beasley. That's two.
hmm
Trey, you got still got Trey's man. Okay, so we know what they're gonna do. They're gonna switch till they get Trey on somebody, right? Now they probably gonna get by Trey. You know what I'm saying? 8 times out of 10. Now to not the Trey, he just don't have the body composition to be a great defender. But say they get bombed. Do you feel confident with Collins and Okongwu patrolling the paint? Now let me be clear because I know some people. I gotta say some detail for some people because they'll run off. Obviously, I know Collins and Okongwu not gonna stop everybody, but I'm just saying, do you feel comfortable with those two patrolling and controlling the paint on the defensive side?
now, I will say this. Yeah, Damon, you made a great point. I do want them to have a backup, and I feel like you can get that. Backup center. Let me be more
Right.
specific. I feel like you can get that in the draft. I feel like there's a lot of centers that's like 7 feet or 6'11", that I've seen in that mid range area. I think you can get that. Or I mean, like shoot, even Minnesota, the team we're talking about,
Right.
they have a Greg Monroe, who's at 1.8 million. They have a Nas Reed, but he's 6'9", 264.
They ain't getting rid of
You know,
him. He a team option too. They keeping him
okay.
because
So I mean,
that's what Minnesota. Well, that obviously that's what the rumor's saying. The rumor is they want another big like a Capella, so they can
mhm.
have front court depth, and they're gonna move. They would move Cat to the 4, so it'd be Cat and Capella on the front line, and they will have Nas as the backup. Because he was their so-called big. You know what I'm saying? Even though we all know it's Cat, but I mean, like they had him out there as another big on the front court. You know what I'm saying? Um,
And I would keep Capella. Don't get it wrong. They will have to give up that shooting guard. They will
I
they will
mean,
have
me
they will have
personally, they're gonna have to get a third team involved. I mean, because this is my logic when it comes to trading. If I'm a general manager, my logic is if you want somebody from my team, I'm not going to be the one jumping through hoops to fix my team. Meaning,
mhm.
I'm not gonna give you Capella and you give me whoever. Now I gotta run somewhere else to address a need. Now that I got rid of said player, you know what I'm saying? I'm like Minnesota. This is what I'm looking for. You need to go out there and find a team that fit that criteria and that want to do business. And then you come back to me. Now, once
Mhm.
again, family, it's just a rumor. We're just discussing the rumors. There's gonna be tons of rumors coming out. Okay. So I don't want nobody coming in saying, well, y'all know what y'all talk about. We understand it's just a rumor. We're just speculating like everybody else does.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, like I said, like I would tell Minnesota, I would look their roster up and down, and to be honest, I'm not getting rid of Capella for Beasley in the first. I'm not gonna do it.
Me
Um,
neither.
because I mean, think about this.
Hmm.
What I would do, I would kick the tires back on DeLon Wright. I would see. I mean, DeLon. The only thing I don't like about DeLon is that he don't score the ball. Beasley can give you some scoring. Am I correct? Because I'm
Yeah.
not really a big
Oh yeah,
follower of
yeah,
Malik
yeah,
Beasley, so he can
yeah.
give me some scoring. See, that's the thing that throws me off with re-signing DeLon. He don't give me no type of scoring. I mean, he had a couple flashes here and there last year, right? But I don't know, guys.
So I do have a 3-team deal kind of put together on this scenario.
How did I
Uh,
guess? I should have known that.
so I put it together: Hawks, Timberwolves, Pacers, to where the Timberwolves obviously get the guy they want, and
We get Miles
uh,
Turner.
right, we get Miles Turner, and Minnesota sends Beasley, Jaden McDaniels, who they rarely play, but he's a young guy, and they're first to Indiana.
That sounds interesting. I mean, Indiana is blowing it up, so they probably
Yeah,
we probably gonna have to send a pick out though. I'm thinking probably Indiana. Probably have to
I would do
send a
that for a
pick.
Miles Turner.
What's up with Miles Turner? Can he play? I mean, he was injured last year. That's why he ain't really
I
get
think he'll be
dealt.
ready to play coming into the next season. And then we had this pick that we got from the Cam trade. I'll trade that pick. I mean, they may want it just to have it, you know.
I mean, might as well sweeten the pot because
Yeah.
then if you pull something off like that, that's something that I like to see. Because me personally, this is one of the main reasons why I'm intent on keeping John Collins is because of his contract. I want to use his contract. I'm not using the John Collins contract to go get me some role player. I can use his contract as a centerpiece to make the money work going after one of these all NBA, these one of these all-star players who making 30, 40 million. You know what I'm saying? So if you
Mm-hmm.
could pull that three-team deal off, that still leaves us with John Collins. Now say
And our first this year.
yeah, say we get to, I don't know, we get to the All-Star break and it's a superstar, all-star player disgruntled. Say a Bradley Beal get disgruntled with Washington. You know, they always talk that loyalty to them losses to, you know, you done lost your 30th game before the
Mm-hmm.
All-Star break. Then now you could package a John Collins. You know what I'm saying? Without giving up tons of assets just to make the money work. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I think I would do that, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. My number one choice is DeAndre Ayton, but
Mm-hmm.
obviously, if I can get Miles Turner and still hold on to a John Collins and a little bit more assets than I will have to give up to get a DeAndre Ayton in a sign of trade, I got to go that route because I believe Miles Turner is better than Clint Capella on the offensive side.
Mm-hmm.
What do y'all think about Miles Turner compared to a Capella on the defensive side? And do you think? And I also believe that Miles Turner can go out to the perimeter when we playing a team who got a stretch five, or hell, maybe a stretch four. You know what I'm saying? And you could run him out there on it. What do y'all think about that? What's your thoughts?
Yeah. I, looking at how much we would go down, we only go down a little bit percentage wise on defense, and that's only because Miles Turner's not going to get as many blocks as Capella. But to me, I think Miles Turner, other than that, is an overall upgrade over Capella. So I think defensively, I think we would actually do really good because, like you said, he can actually go out and guard. I'm just gonna throw a name out there like a Jonas Valanciunas. We play against a guy like him. He can even, try to contest some of Embiid shots. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he's taller than Capella. He can stretch it, so I think that he's actually an upgrade over Clint. And I think defensively, we would not actually decline that much at all. Just we would be losing like a block or two a game. I mean, Miles Turner can still block a shot. It just won't be at the quality of Clint. But I think overall, other than that, I think we improve overall.
What's your thoughts on the GM?
Um, I haven't looked at too much of Miles. I've seen a few things. I'm looking at it. It's 6'11", 250. That's not
Mm-hmm.
bad. That's not bad at all. Also, as far as a rebound, is he a great rebounder? It says like what total 7.1. Total rebound 12 points. So yeah, I mean, I believe he can give you what Capella can give you, and probably a little more because he can. If somebody was a stretch, he can possibly check them. Won't have any problems. So yeah, I mean, I'm in favor of that. You know, um, you know, if you wanted to move, and that would help. What's the name? Big Double O. So if you wanted to move Double O to a 4, you know, or vice versa. Miles too. I
Yeah.
mean, it'll be a lot of versatility there, and then Collins. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yeah.
just in
And
case
then
somebody's injured.
like I said, then say another somebody become available during the season, that's making, 30, 35 million, 40 million. Now you can
Hmm.
package a Collins because now you already got a Miles Turner, you got a Kongwu. We still have Jalen Johnson if Nate decided to play him anytime in 2022, 23. Um, I think that puts us in a great position. But I do feel we need to upgrade in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand perimeter defending is our Achilles heel right now. And I know people always like to say, we was the number 2 offense in the league, but and they'll be like, why are you still going after players that score the ball? And like I tell them,
Because of
I
what I saw in the playoffs.
exactly like I don't care about the regular season. Look at the playoffs, how when Miami slowed us down and forced us to play half court. You know what I'm saying? Hell, somebody I think we played half court because we want to. I don't understand why Trey wasn't. Never mind. But when they forced us into half court, you know, we had no one to throw the ball to. Our wings didn't attack the basket, and I think it'd be nice if, but instead of always just doing pick and roll, we come down with the ball, Trey or whoever, bogey, and we like, you know what? You want to play this slow tempo? Watch this. We're gonna throw it to our big 6'11" guy who can actually turn around and shoot the ball from the elbow, from the free throw line. You know what I'm saying? And make you come out, go make that big come out a little bit. Unlike with Capella, who gives us great rim protection, great rebounding, but we playing 4-on-5. Imagine we the number 3 offense, number 2, whatever, and we was really playing 4-on-5 on the offensive side of the ball because you can't give Clint Capella the ball.
And sometimes 3, not 4 or 5, but 3 and 5.
Especially when you got DeLon Wright out there.
But I'm saying your shooting guards, they kind of disappear sometime. Some of that's like lack of experience, and some of that's just being injured.
They passive.
I'm talking about Bogey, and I'm talking about Herter.
Herter's passive. He passive.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna defend Herter though, because he's still young in a way, and I think that he needs somebody to help him develop a little more. Well, but I know the mind looks different on that. But
they should have gave him somebody to help him develop before we gave him $63 million damn dollars. That's why the Utah Jazz fans, I went to their fan channel, and that's what they were complaining about. They didn't want Herter. They wanted Hunter. They were saying Hunter's a better player, but guess what? They was like, but Herter is due. His extension kicks in this year. So, and they was like, why we don't want to add on that extra, whatever Herter getting 15 million. You know what I'm saying? When we can get Hunter, who is on, I think this year he's on 9 million. I mean, obviously they think he's the better player, but the trade was really centered around John Collins. They wanted John Collins, Clint Capella, and Hunter, and the 16th pick, which was ridiculous.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, which was ridiculous. No. And
that's robbery, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And some.
Yeah, and so with Herter, our wings didn't really give us nothing. Let me change that. Our wings, Hunter and Herter, didn't give us what I thought we should have been getting from them production-wise during the season, which to me comes from both not being able to get to the basket and get to the rim. Because I think Herter at 6'7". Hunter's 6'8", 7, 6'8". Why they not getting to the rim and getting to the free throw line? I think we lost points with them doing that. But Herter also is not that good defensively. I mean, granted, I've seen him running through that. For some reason, they be having him run through about millions of screens on the court. But at the end of the day, you got to get through him and get it, and guard your man. And he didn't do it like I thought he should do it in year 4? This was year 4 for Kevin Herter, year 5. So, I mean, I'm willing to trade Kevin Herter. I wouldn't have a problem with it. But like I said, back to my original point, you trade Capella to Minnesota, we get better on the perimeter, but we lose out defensively and probably going to lose out on the boards too, unless Dre decide to get us some rebounds. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's kind of obviously almost with every trade, pros and cons.
Yeah.
Do the pros outweigh the cons? At the end of the day, is what you're asking yourself.
I would like to see. I mean, I'm just sold on the shooting guard, man. Like, whether it's somebody coming out of college, I know I spoke on my channel yesterday about a guy who played for. I didn't forgot his name, but he played for. Let me see. I'm sorry. The shooting guard who won the championship in the NCAA.
In March Madness?
Yeah.
Wasn't it North Carolina?
Kansas, right? Kansas beat North Carolina.
Yeah, that's right.
And their shooting guard, I believe he got he's like the player of the tournament. It was a shooting guard.
Ochai?
Yes. Oh man, but I know I got a feeling he's not going to make it to 16. But somebody like that who can bring a presence.
He may go past 16.
Oh yeah.
Because of his draft age. But I mean, he's a senior.
But
He's
Demond, when I say
22, so I mean,
the guy can play defense.
I
Analyst in
mean,
Demond, he can play defense and he can
and that's
shoot your eyes out. And so,
what
and
when
also he can penetrate. And we need everything at that position,
you talking
that
about
can
you talking
complement
about shooting guard position.
shooting guard, yeah, that can complement Trey Young. And I would love to see this team that we have with that.
Okay,
I just
but
feel like we
say he gets to us and we draft this guy, right? I mean, once again, this but see, this is my thing when it comes
I
to
want Dyson
when
Daniels.
people want to get up in the draft and get these rookies. This is my thing. So when do you plan on start to win games? Because with
we're gonna
him,
win
what you
now.
got to ask yourself is how long are you willing to wait for this guy to develop?
Oh no, you got a superstar. Trey Young, this is when I come as a coach. This is now it's time to play ball. Now it's time to play your
Come on, really, really,
all overall
really.
game where you don't have to
Come
do
on,
everything. I know it sounds. Think about it,
come
Demond. If you
on, man,
got four,
bro. Really, let me tell you. Go ahead,
if you
go ahead,
got
go ahead.
four, hold up. If you got four players, say we kept Clint Capella, John Collins, you have DeAndre Hunter, and now you have Trey Young. Four players who have been playing and went to the Eastern Conference Finals. You tell them you can't play with a shooting guard that is inexperienced and a rookie, but he has all the potential to be a superstar.
But this
Come
is my
on,
thing.
man.
But this my thing. If I'm
Your
Trey
team's
Young,
supposed to be able to do that.
if I'm Trey Young, okay, if I'm Trey, and you bring that dude to me and he's a starter, I'm looking at you like you crazy. Because you know my response to you is this: why you just can't go out there and trade and get me an NBA proven shooting guard who does this already? If you want us to win these games, why are we
Because
going
it's
to?
going to
Why?
take John Collins. It's going to take John Collins. It's
That's
going to take him.
fine. You
Well,
got to give up talent to get talent.
this my thing. Who if it's gonna take John Collins, then what you telling me is then I'm getting me a good known NBA player shooting guard if it's gonna
But
take
but but
John
still,
Collins.
I didn't finish. It still won't be like a Zach LaVine. You're
Okay,
going
well
to
I don't
probably
need a
get
Zach.
what I just said.
Well,
You're going
yeah,
to
I don't
probably
need a
get what
Zach
I just
Levine.
said. The guy. But no, I'm saying you're going to probably have to settle for a my mind just went blank. You're
Who
going to probably
Malik
have to
Beasley?
settle, yeah, for Malik Beasley. But then now people are saying, for John Collins, you see what I'm saying?
But
It's a never ending story. So I read of my man develop, my guy develop. You see what I'm saying? I read of my player develop with Trey Young, who's an all-star, with DeAndre Hunter, who's supposed to be the upcoming, third piece, possibly. So I'm saying, and now I can see whether this is right or not. If it's not, and I hear them, maybe we're saying this is not looking good. Then do what you got to do. But I don't see the harm in it, and also I think I believe it was surprising people because now you have a playmaker. You see what I'm saying? You have a playmaker, and Trey Young is smiling now. Trey Young might just drop 40 per game on you. You see what I'm saying?
If
Because now you're spacing that everything is different. You see what I'm saying?
if
You get
if
consistency.
yeah, if we draft now, I've been a candidate to trade this 16th pick. Because first of all, I think it's where a lot of teams want to be. But most importantly, I don't. To me, I need the Hawks to go out there, like Damon said, and go out there and get a proven shooting guard. But not only a proven shooting guard, I need someone who, when the pressure is on, and in crunch time, when teams take the ball out of Trey's hands, I need someone else who can create and go out and get a bucket on so many levels. You can say anyone can hit a shot, but I need someone that's going to be able to do it
Clutch.
reliably. I don't want a role player doing that, okay? Because
Clutch.
I want somebody like that. And listen, I have no problem if it takes going to give up John Collins and other guys and picks to go do it because you gotta. One thing that I'm learning from a lot of the different gyms around, you got to give up talent to get talent. You're not going to be able to. Not these executives in the league today you're not going to be able to sell low on them. you're gonna have to trade off really good players to get that player. And so I personally think that if it costs John Collins, yes, I want a guy of a Bradley Beal or Donovan Mitchell's caliber or a Zach LaVine. I want a guy like that, because his contract will work. It will give us a boost, and then we will have that pick to tag along with it. But overall, I don't think drafting someone, if we draft someone at 16, they need to one have a they already need to have a position where they can come right in and play and be effective. If not, if they're going to spend time in College Park or wherever they spend time at, if they're going to spend time there, do not draft them, because that would have been a wasted asset that you could have used in a deal to acquire a player that can come right in and help the team out.
You got a response to that, GM?
Well, no, I agree. If the things that you're saying, I agree. You guys make great points, and also I look at the I look at the overall factors too. I know that we have Nate. I'm trying my best to be as resourceful and also just kind of logical about the situation that we're in. And I know that rookies have a tendency of not seeing too much time. Although when you have rookies like DeAndre Hunter, like the one I'm talking about coming from Kansas, the shooting guard, those are like 23-year-olds who played 4 years in college. There's a difference, in just picking a 19-year-old, you see what I'm saying, and 20, and having them learn a little bit more. But that's the type of development things that we have to look at and need. And so I'm wondering why, but Jalen Johnson I can understand, but I'm talking about bringing guys who are clutch in college, clutch at the biggest level,
Okay,
clutch.
But watch this though. We got a dude that was clutch at the college level, and who did 3 years in college. No, matter of fact, did 4 years. DeAndre Hunter. He was clutch in college. National champion. Came through in the biggest moment. The championship game was putting buckets on Culver's head. But has that transferred over to the NBA? And this is year what for Hunter? Year what? 4?
4.
3? Yeah,
There's
4.
a reason why people are asking for the trade, though. See, that's the difference. There's a
I mean,
reason.
true. That's
They
true. But
they see it just like I do.
But that's true. But this is my thing. I can only go by what he's done for us over the 4 years. So when you say, you're looking at and I understand what your point is, Jim. You're saying when you go get a dude who's um who's clutch, but the main thing is not that they're clutch. We're speaking on maturity level. It's a whole. I understand when you say it's a difference between a 19-year-old and a 24-year-old. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
It's that maturity level. But my thing is this: you go get a guy like that, and I'm under the impression that we're trying to win games now. I'm not under the impression that we try our number one priority is to develop a guy. To me, I'm thinking our priority is to win as many games as possible and make a good run into the playoffs as possible. So that's why I'm always saying I'm looking for proven commodities. You know what I'm saying? Something that's proven. So I know what I'm going to get from the player. And let me just address Incog. Incog, this what we're saying, bro. We're talking about making a trade for a veteran, not begging them to come here as a free agent, bro. So it don't matter
Right.
if they want to. It don't matter what they want to do. If we trade
Can't
for them, they
control it.
coming. They don't have a choice. So we're not over here talking about let's go sign Dwight Howard and free. None of that. We're not talking that. We talk about trading John Collins, using him as a centerpiece, proven commodities. Name a specific trade. I've already done that in car, but I'll say it again. I'll give you another one. What if a Bradley Beal get disgruntled? He talking about he loyal to Washington. Everybody loyal till you start losing 50 games. Say they 10 and 30 at the All-Star break or something to that effect.
Which is
He
possible.
he might become available. Say Damian Lillard. Now, not saying that he's gonna come in and change stuff. He ain't gonna help us on the perimeter defending, but I'm saying Damian Lillard become available, and you want to throw your name in the hat, maybe to be a part of a 3-team trade to pick up something from that. That's what we're talking about when we talk about trading for proven commodities. To go get a rookie, anybody can draft a rookie. That ain't hard. I mean, you could really go down there and start it. Look at our G League roster. Or any of those guys. It was my man. I can't remember his name. I think he's a forward. He was down there balling for College Park last year, getting a couple of double doubles. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I might do a video on our College Park players. But that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about free agency, bro. Free agency would be like Zach LaVine, who's unrestricted. That's free agency. You have to convince him to come. But us making a trade for, say, a Bradley Beal who don't want to be there, making a trade for a John Wall. I'm just naming random people who I know making 35 plus million. That's when you take that John Collins money, because that helps you. Now that's less assets you need to get to make the money work. That's what we're talking about, my guy. But like Jim said, we draft a rookie. You got Jalen Johnson. We see the track record with Coach Nate McMillan when it comes to playing young guys. Now, young guys, hey, that's between the coach, the guy, and Travis. I would assume whoever Travis drafts, he's spoken to the coach, and they like on the same sheet of music. Like, you expect, I'm drafting this dude, Jalen Johnson. My scouts told me he's a great talent, but he's still raw and needs work. But I expect him to spend a majority of his time in College Park. Like something like that, a conversation like that, so everybody on the same sheet of music. Obviously, us as fans, we're not on the inside, but we're seeing a young talent that's not getting no playing time with the first team. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know what Inca sometimes he just be saying stuff just to say it, and it really makes zero sense. But
yeah,
he talked about drafting rookies our only hope. He was saying that
false.
the dudes at College Park. Go ahead.
I will say something about that.
Name a trade that's benefited us. Okay, I'll name some trades that benefit. You want me to name some trades that work for us? Let's see. How about we traded to get Luka. We traded to go get we traded up to go get Hunter.
Bogey was a free agent.
Cam Reddish trade even helped us with a log.
You talk about free agents. We traded to go get Joe Johnson. Okay, tell me Joe Johnson trade didn't work out for us in the long term. It worked out for us fine. You know what I'm saying? What other trades you want? You got to remember, we are not the ultimate destination, bro. So let's not sit here and act like, these NBA players, I can't go wait to play for the Hawks. See, that's what I be talking about. When people come in here, when I'm talking to other Hawk fans and they unrealistic, you know what I'm saying? It's just unrealistic. We have not been an organization. We have not been one of the top organizations in the NBA since 2000. Okay? Since 2000, we've been either at the bottom of the barrel, winning 13 games, to just being a mid-level team, to that one good year with the 60-win team. So I don't know why Incal try to act like, hey, name me a good trade. Bro, look at our front office, okay? Who been in our front office? Let's see. What happened to Danny Ferry? He got fired. He got set up by our own front office. I've never seen that. Our own owners set up our general manager for failure to get fired. Come on, man. You had Billy Knight. We had the ASG. So stop acting like we don't have a good record, like we were some type of good organization. This organization has been flawed at the front. That's gonna be another video. My bad, guys. Incard that got me off, man. Because I hate when people come in here and just say anything that makes zero sense.
Yeah.
Talk about veterans. No shit, guy. That's called debating. We're going over that's our opinion. That's why we're here, bro. You know what I'm saying? Jeez. My bad, guys.
DeLon was not an M-back.
Well, yeah. I
He
would
said
say
DeLon
far as
was
the
not an
free.
impact player, so he wasn't a big part of us winning the second playing game in
No,
Cleveland.
man, let me tell you something about DJ Incog. I know DJ Incog from Facebook, bro, from the New Pet City group, right? What he does, he says everything out of hindsight. He never says nothing before it happens. Never. He waits till stuff happens, then he'll come. We should have got the rookies. You ain't say that before. I didn't see you. I ain't see you say nothing about. Hey, we should start all these rookies before the season start. Never seen it. And then he says, and this is what I be talking about. Discussing unrealistic trades is a waste of time. We're talking about rumors that's coming out on the internet, guy. That's what we discussing here. But since you only make your opinions off of hindsight, you gonna wait and then you go swing back around and say, man, you know what? We should have done this. Man, stop it, bro. Stop it, my guy.
I got something to say about the rumors. The rumors actually can help a team. It's kind of like when you're playing poker. You want to kind of put on a poker face because you don't want teams to know exactly where you're going. So with the rumors, for incog, as a GM, if I was like in the scouting department or something like that, or in the front office, I would want teams to know where I'm going. So the best thing for the Hawks is all these rumors like this, that. Now for the players, it could probably be like, like Slink was saying, it kind of rub you mentally. But the teams won't really know where you're going. I mean, unless they're doing their due diligence. But
But
it's kind of good to have your team names out there.
well,
You
see,
know.
I'm opposite. I'm opposite of you. I don't want nobody knowing none of my moves. And I tell you like this: if I was a general manager,
Well, no, that's
any
why I said that they don't know.
oh yeah,
It's a good thing.
anything you hear about my team, I'm putting out there on purpose because I have an agenda. So
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
either putting stuff out there to tank somebody's value. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, say I want to go after a target. Say I want to go after. I don't. I'm just making some up. Say I want analysts on my team, and I know a lot of people want them. Guess what? It might be a leak saying, "Hey, man, analyst is under investigation by the FBI for fraud or something." You know what I'm saying? Like I'm putting stuff out there like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting stuff out there that's gonna help me get to what I want to get to. But guess what? That's what they do nowadays. GMs, like, and I said at the beginning before you came on, GMs and their staff leaks. They put stuff out. They put these stories out there.
Hmm.
Agents,
Oh
they
yeah,
put these stories out there. Like when they trying to move their
they're
player,
trying to move their player. Yeah,
when they try to move players, they be putting stuff out there. When it's time for their players to get re-signed, guess what? They might put a room out there saying, guess what? This guy want him. This team want this guy. So you might want to raise your asking price. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I would do. But
but hey,
what I
but you
don't
know what, Demond? You know
go
what,
ahead.
Demond? Think about it. We cheer for all you guys on here. Y'all pretty much, I would think, are Atlanta fans, or you're cheering for them. You're frustrated. You got to think about it. Cleveland, Charlotte Hornets. Those teams that they don't want to get rid of their players. Like we want their superstar. Think about it. I don't want. Hey, you got to give me something. And I know you're desperate. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm not gonna just give you my superstar for like Bogey. I'm not trying to say nothing bad about Bogey, but I'm saying
Yeah,
like some all star.
yeah,
It's kind of
I
like
feel you.
we're wanting so much, and then think about how they feel. Like, shoot, I want to keep my superstar like Trey Young. We want to keep him. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, a lot of I would think a lot of people in Atlanta fans you have to understand like they're not gonna just give it up like that.
And that's
And
why
saying
And that's
yeah.
why GM I always add. See, when Incog, he like to say stuff like this: the Hawks trading for superstars not is unrealistic, and that's why if you listen to what I say, I choose my words very
Hmm.
wisely. That's why I said if a superstar becomes available because they're disgruntled. I don't know how many times I just said that
Yeah.
just on this show, and I use Bradley Beal
Bradley,
because
yeah,
guess what?
Bill, yeah, yeah.
It's a good chance that the Wizards could be 10, 15 games, 20 games below 500 at the All-Star break. That's when you pounce on stars. You pounce on stars when they disgruntled. That's why DeAndre Ayton in the Twitter chat. That's why when people say something, I said I wanted him to suck in the playoffs. I wanted them to lose because now he disgruntled. Their fans disgruntled. Good. Guess what? Now the leverage from Phoenix come down because he don't
Mm.
want to be there. I want him to do bad. I want the Wizards to do bad. I when the Jazz lost, that's the first thing I
I was
said.
happy.
Oh hell yeah! As soon as they lost, I was like, hey, Travis, get on the phone. Trey, call Donovan Mitchell. He disgruntled. He upset that they got lost. They just lost. Hey, when Quinn Snyder quit, I was like, Trey need to be on the phone talking to Donovan Mitchell right now. Because they done got their ass whipping the playoffs again. Him and Rudy Gobert don't get along, and the head coach just quit. You tell me he ain't disgruntled. And I said, you get on the phone and you say, hey, Donovan, we just need you to tell Utah you want to leave. Once he does that, now we got leverage. Now Utah don't have the
Mm-hmm.
leverage. That's what I be trying, and that's why I choose my words wisely because I know he'll come and say stuff like, "That's not real." That's plenty of realistic moves right there. That's what you want to happen. What's unrealistic is something like this. Hey man, the Warriors just won. The Warriors just won the title, bro. Let's see if we can go get Steph Curry. Let's go see if we can go get Clay or Draymond. That's unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? But realistic would be if the Warriors missed the playoffs for 3 years in a row. You know, now you can start picking apart their team. You know what I'm saying? That's
But
what I be.
the Warriors are built for the long haul, and and I got like 3 minutes, and I got a meeting at 2, and I appreciate it. So if you don't
Go
mind, I'm
ahead.
gonna say something about that.
Go ahead.
Look what the Warriors have done within this time frame. So I'm sorry, guys. I got to look at the Warriors as a template for Atlanta because we got Schlink. It only makes sense. So you got Curry, you have Clay Thompson, you have Draymond Green, all was drafted. They had problems with they had problems with the small forward, but they had somebody there too when they first kind of won, which is what's the guy named Barnes?
They had
So
Harrison Barnes, and
yeah,
before him
Harrison Barnes.
they had Iggy.
Yeah. So you see Durant comes, Wiggins, they puts a plug in. So now
But
guess what? The people want to come there now because they see the success of what you have drafted.
but you
That's
gotta
what
add
people
it. You gotta add into the fact this also though, Anna's also. I mean, GM also this. The Warriors, you Steph, Clay, Iggy, and Steph, Clay, Draymond, and Iggy,
Draymond.
right? Was they top four players in Harrison when they started making that run,
Hmm.
right? What's this about 2015? Because that's the same year we won our run and won 60 games, right?
And then
And
and Demond, and then really have a center. They've been
no,
drafting
and
centers.
we didn't have a center neither. I mean, our top player was Al Horford when we won 60 games, right?
Okay.
And the Warriors, like I tell people, when you win championships, you start these little dynasties. You also need stuff to go your way. You see what I'm saying? You know what really set the Warriors up?
Hmm.
The losing Klay Thompson, losing when they had all those injuries. Look what it turned into. Kaminga, Wiseman, Poole. They drafted those dudes all when Clay and them got
Draft
hurt,
well.
and they missed the playoffs. And then one year they got eliminated in like the play in, and they
Hmm.
drafted well. So Golden State is not just set up for this year, not just next year, year after that, year after that. But guess what? Those are the teams I like to look at. You know why, Jim? Because sooner or later, them Warriors not gonna want to keep paying that luxury tax. That tax just keep going up because now you got Curry, Clay, Draymond all on max
Wiggins.
deals. Wiggins doing
Wiggins
extension.
coming up.
Wiggins
Yeah.
doing extension. Poole got one more year in the rookie contract. Then you got young players. When you draft a player like Kaminga, he won't playing time. Can they provide him that? See, those are type. That's what I'll be looking at. See, you can snipe players like that. You
But
can
see, it's
snipe.
an easy for them. It's an easy plug in if you're doing it right, though.
Yeah, for them it is. I mean, for
Yeah,
us,
yeah,
we
like
still
draft
trying to figure
wise or
out.
free agent.
Yeah, we still trying to figure out what pieces work together, and which I agree with you and analysts and a whole bunch of others. We need an upgrade on Nate McMillan, or you're gonna have to upgrade his staff because something got to give
Hmm.
as far as with John Collins upset about his usage. So we still don't have everything. Think about the Warriors. They got all the parts now. Well, they had the parts back in 2015 when they got Kurt. We don't have all the parts. And you could say
Yeah.
Nate McMillan is not one of the parts. You could
Ooh.
say some of the players are not part of the part, but we don't have all our parts that we need to be successful. And I think that run to the conference finals, I think it called Travis Slink to jump the gun.
Yeah. It
And
caught
that's
everybody off. It caught
I mean it
everybody
did.
off guard.
That's why you hear me say we drunk the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I
I
was
drank the
drinking it.
Kool Aid. I ain't lying.
Yeah,
I
I
was
was
I
drinking
was
it too.
talking cash shit. I thought we was finna win 60 games. You could, bro. You could tell me. I'm glad I didn't have no money to bet, bro, because I'd have lost my house. You hear me? But you got anything? Because I want to make sure you get all your points out before you got to roll to your meet. I know
I
you're a very
appreciate
important person.
Analyst and Demond, I appreciate y'all, man. But yeah, I say this one thing. Yeah, I drunk the Kool-Aid, but then it's a good thing that we see it now. And I'm just hoping, man, Nate McMillan can just do, if he can find, like you said, Demond said it best, as far as the coaching staff, at least get yourself some pretty good coaches around you to kind of like, help with the offense, help with the defense, and now the philosophy of with who you have, the players and the development. Because we got to understand, like we went to the Eastern Conference Finals, but we're still young in a way, and Trey still has a ceiling that he haven't reached. So that's good. That's great, But now he needs that. He needs some help. He needs some support, especially at that other as shooting guard, and I'm cheering for Herter. I hope Herter gets some type of dog in him in a way to where now you can kind of be aggressive and take over. And maybe that's something him and Trey Young need to talk about, but yeah, I don't want to wait on that. I would say, hey, Herter, for you to be a dog, I'm on draft another dog, and you're gonna have healthy competition. You know what I'm saying? Just like what the Falcons are doing, competition. I hear a quarterback. We're gonna get another quarterback, and we're gonna get another, player here in this position, and y'all gonna have to work at being a starter. So, but yeah, I appreciate it, man. That's all I wanted to really talk about, and I keep listening to y'all. So,
All right, my guy. Love having you on. It's always open for you to come on anytime you feel like it, my guy. Anytime.
I appreciate it.
And that's the boy, Virtual GM. If y'all don't know, Virtual GM also has his own YouTube channel. Y'all make sure y'all go and tap in with him. He get a little bit more in depth with the numbers. He stayed with that damn trade machine up too. He trade somebody. Him and the analyst, they trading
Hey,
somebody every day.
analysts got me on it, man.
Every day they done traded somebody. Every day they traded somebody on a hawk. So y'all make sure y'all tap in with GM, man. And what time is it? I got about 15 more minutes left. Let me see what the chat's saying before we get out of here. Let's see. Okay, this is a good topic right here, analyst. Nate shouldn't be blamed for last year. He had a bad defensive team and uncreative offensive team
Mm.
too.
On that note,
Hmm.
I'm gonna listen to you. I'm gonna get out. Y'all take care.
All right now,
This
GM.
is interesting though.
All right, I'm gonna say something on this true to Atlanta. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it a buck. All right. Um, Beginning of the season, I was on the Nate McMillan bandwagon. Not even gonna sit here in front. I was on the
Same.
bandwagon. I was like, Nate, give him time, give him time. By that All Star break, man, I was like, yo, this is ridiculous. It's a bunch of. Let's talk about the offensive side. The offensive side, Nate McMillan, according to everybody, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Nate McMillan was supposed to be this defensive mastermind coach, right? Um, so on far as the offense, I was trying to give him a pass. I was hoping when he had that empty slot, he was going to bring in a young, offensive minded, somebody who's a little bit more creative on the offensive side of the
Brought in
ball
his
on the
son.
staff. But he brought in his son, which I don't know why Travis Slink didn't stop that. But I don't know. Maybe that was part of his contract when he signed. I didn't like the move. I'm like, dude, you need to ask somebody who can help you on the offensive side.
Mike D'Antoni.
And that's why I like when people always bring up, hey, we was number 3 in the offense or number 2. That's why I hate it because that's probably something Nate McMillan stands on. Hey, we're good on the offensive side of the ball, bro. So I don't need an assistant to help us get better on the offensive side. When obviously, I think one, I don't think he uses John Collins effectively. I don't think that. I think it's not enough movement. All we do is stand at the 3 point line. I need him to push Hunter more and Herter to attack the basket more and get to the free throw line. We don't see that on the offense. That's why it's so easy for us, for other teams to defend us. Um, and you could blame that on Nate or Travis. I blame it on both of them. On the defensive side of the ball, I tried to give Nate some slack beginning of the season. I used to think maybe we just don't have the players who could play whatever type of defense that Nate wants to play. But also this, as the coach, if you know you don't have the players to run a certain type of defense or how you want to play, you need to adjust your game plan and your thoughts to fit the players that you have. What point is it to keep running the players out there and say do A, B, C, D when you know they can't do it? Whatever, whether it's physical, whether it's effort, whatever. But if you know they're not doing what you want them to do, as a coach, you need to switch it and say, you know what, let me adapt my philosophy to them and put these dudes in a better position to defend. What's your thoughts on that, analyst, as far as Nate on the offensive side, defensive side, and the assistant coach? Because I don't know, I put a video up yesterday about the assistant coach Chris Gent leaving to go to the Lakers and whatnot.
Yeah, and I'll touch on the importance of that real quick. Chris Gent was our lead assistant, so we're gonna have to fill it. We're gonna have to get a guy that's kind of uh, you know gonna be able to fill in the role of lead assistant, which in my opinion, I think with all these available former head coaches out there, there's no excuse why you shouldn't bring in one of them to help him. But I mean, maybe listen. I think that I've come to the conclusion that um, Travis has to improve the roster, but I don't necessarily blame him because I think he will. But the reason why I give so much blame to Nate is because I see his lack of even if the adjustments won't work, I see his lack of effort to adjust. Now, like I said, like Demond said, I was on the Nate McMillan bandwagon coming into this season. I thought Nate was going to get us the championship, but then I kind of saw it's like, okay, it's at first it's like, okay, well, you're playing all these guys certain minutes and you're sticking to these rotations. All right, we'll see later on in the season. Then it's like, okay, Nate, you got to go with something different. Then he kept sticking it out. Then he comes out and says we're running action on offense. Like what is it? Like what is that? Then he start with this cool, calm, and collected stuff. And so ultimately, I think that you could give Nate a pass for this year simply because yes, I do think that we should improve the roster, and you know I think that this was a failure for everyone. But I do think that
Yeah.
we need to improve the roster. And ultimately, I think we need to bring someone on the staff like an offensive minded coach who can come right in and implement his offense that's gonna be very crisp with ball movement. Not trade dribble, 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 everyone go stand in the corner. No, with ball movement, backdoor cuts, and things of that nature. Because if you watch the teams that was in the finals, they had ball movement. So I think that we need to get a coach like that. And I'll finish off my comment with responding to DJ Incog saying that trading for superstars are realistic. We have 9 tradable firsts over the next few years. We have 4 salary fillers, 3 young guys, and you're telling me we are not in position to go after a superstar. That is the most asinine thing I've heard all day. But ultimately, yes, we need to improve the roster. I think we are going to improve the roster, and I think you do give Nate probably the next year or two on his contract. Now, if we improve uh and we still don't get past the first round, now you got to look at moving on from Nate, which is sad to say when he just got here, but you got to do what's best for the franchise.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, I agree, but I mean, it's really nothing we can do, man. When it comes to Nate McMillan, it's up to the general manager. Well, Landry Fields now, I guess, but I think Landry feels like just a placeholder. I think really it's still Travis making all the G calls from the president role. Um, but I really think that Nate McMillan is going to be here because it's hard to convince an owner to fire a coach who's only coached and and has put us in the playoffs both season, took us to the conference finals. Um, it's hard to convince the owner that we should fire this guy because the owner's gonna look at it from the point of, okay, we firing this guy. Why? Because guess what? When I fire this guy, I still have to pay this guy if I'm gonna fire him. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to convince. Like to me, if I was the owner, I'd be like, I need to get this guy another season because I think we signed Nate. If I'm not mistaken, it was a 4 year deal. So I mean, like if I'm an owner, you really got to convince me why I should be paying two coaches at the same time because that's what I'm going to be doing. If I fire Nate and then have to bring in another coach, now I'm paying two coaches. You got to convince me why should I be paying two coaches when the dude only been with us for a year and a half, and I'm already switching coaches. That's one thing. That's probably the main thing for me. I think Nate isn't leaving unless I think this is my true opinion about Nate McMillan. I think Nate doesn't get fired until the end of the season, unless for some reason we below 500 again at the All Star break like we was this year, minus COVID. You know what I'm saying? Minus COVID. Hold up, son. Give me 10 more minutes. Minus COVID, I think if we're under 500, Nate gets fired. Um, because I do believe our owner wants to win, and that's just my thoughts on that, man. But family, I want to thank y'all for tapping in with me and young analysts here. We salute y'all, man. Salute to the chat. Salute to my guy analyst. Salute to my guy GM who came up in here. We didn't want to hold y'all for long. I think this is long enough. We got a good conversation out. Good participation from the chat. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe. Um, we are almost at 500 subs, so that's a little milestone right there. Considering we not live or posting videos every day, I think our channel's growing real good. Um, can't wait. We gonna be doing post game lives. After I know I'm gonna be here for, after each summer league game, so we can talk about that. I'm thinking about doing a watch along for the draft, at least up to our pick, and then we can discuss our pick afterwards. I'll let y'all know if I'm gonna be up here doing that. I got to look at my schedule. But thank y'all for tapping in. Analyst, you got any last words?
Well, you know, going back to the original conversation, if a framework were to happen with Clint Capella going to Minnesota, then we would have to be getting some picks, but ultimately I think that we're gonna make the right decision, and we just have to continue to trust Travis, because listen, I'm telling you that I'm sure the phones are ringing.
All right, and there you have it. And don't forget, Analyst has his own YouTube channel. I don't know if you're still posting up there, Analyst, but he still has a YouTube channel. Still got some good information up there. If y'all want to go up there and check in on that. And hey, we here 24 Mo. We also on Twitter. Y'all tap in with us. Analyst, what's your Twitter handle?
Oh, my Twitter, I think it's the Atlanta. I'll drop it in the chat.
Okay, he's gonna drop it in the chat. Make sure y'all give him a follow on Twitter. And that's all I got, family. And until next time, it's your boys for this We Talk Hawks TV, We Talk Hawks Daily. This is a channel by the fans and it's for the fans. So once again, if you're new here, comment, like, subscribe, and don't forget, anytime we live, I drop that link. So if you want to come up here, you got your thoughts you want to put out here, come on the show and let us hear your thoughts. Let everybody hear your thoughts. It's your boy MI, and we out. Y'all stay up, man.